So basically, here's the dealio. I got into a project that I didn't realize was going to be as big as it was. I got looking at my classic 1984 Oldsmobile Delta 88, and it's got some rust. I was like, man, I really need to get back in my garage, and I'd really like to put a workshop in my garage. This is my garage. Got looking at my garage and noticed that the wall was cracked and starting to push in. The cement blocks were cracked down a seam. You can kind of see the start of it right there, almost. If you look really close, there's a little bit there. Anyway, so I dug this out. It was like the weekend. I was off streaming, so I dug this out, almost a 2-foot wide ditch. And I was like, I got to put a French drain in. And so I dug this all out, a lot of clay. There's some. They used steel slag from the steel mills. Yeah, it was a little bit of like gravel, but it wasn't much. So, at any rate, I dug it out, and as I got looking at it, I was like, boy, it's going to take a lot of work. So, I decided to take off some time from streaming, and I went to town. Like, not literally to town, but went to town on working at it. And here's the problem. I got looking at the garage. The garage is very messy. Oh, they're glorious. Yes, Rob. Yeah, foundation issues are great. And yeah, so my garage, inside of my garage was messy. So I'm like, even if I get this ditch dug and I get the ditch issue fixed with French drain, I can't get to the wall on the inside of the garage because it's so freaking messy. So the deal is I have this little room underneath my porch. This is my porch, front porch, and this is a little room. This is the room in my basement, door to my basement. So I was like, I got this, but it's full of dirt. Like they never dug it all the way out. So let me show you on the inside. This is what it looked like. Now I had dug for a little while, but it was almost chest high. You're going to see it in like this video that I just took. Here I am standing it. It's basically at some points chest high. Several feet of dirt. This room's about 15 foot long. So just a bunch. It's a lot of clay. Some kind of dry. You know, the top was kind of dry and pretty flaky, but the bottom, the mid down to the bottom, anywhere from about here, I want to say about here down, was really thick, heavy clay. And I was like, if I could dig this out, I can move all of the stuff from the garage that I need a space. I need a space for my woodworking, you know, scrap lumber, materials, anything that I need to work on around the house. I need a spot for it. Because my garage, I need a place to put the car. I need a place for the workshop, and I don't really have a lot of space for materials there. So I was like, all right, we're going to dig this out. Well, I started digging it out, and it took a long time. So we're going to get there. But meanwhile, back at the garage, this room is under my porch. This guy, yeah, under my front porch. Inside that little door there. Boom. That room. So they had dug the footer out, put the porch in, put the cement block in, and never dug the dirt out. Here's my garage. So, at any rate, so meanwhile, back at the garage, yes, I got the ditch dug out, and then I did what was called parging, which is a thin skim of mortar over the face of the blocks. No, Shay, I don't go outside to get to my box. No, that's the front porch, not the back porch. So, yeah, it is a little bit rogue. They just left like a little crawl space and a little bit of space to get in, but you couldn't get into the garage. It was kind of tough. So anyway, back at the garage, I did this parging, and this kind of helps to seal up the block that gets pretty porous, because you don't want water getting into the seams or into the cracks of the blocks. So you put a little thin skim of mortar on, which kind of helps to seal the water out, and then you've got a little bit stronger wall. Yes. You guys are ridiculous. At any rate, so I did that. I did all that, and I even put a little bit of mortar and a crack on my my steps going down to my garage, and used like 2 or 3 things of caulking, that leftover caulking that I had. It was crazy. But I got it done. All right, so there's all the parging. That was I kind of did half of this in the dark because I was working throughout the evening. It was a lot of work. A lot of work digging it out. A lot of work doing this parging. All right, got it all done. There's all the parging, and then I coated it with this black, like asphalt tar. It's kind of a form of asphalt, I guess. So it's called foundation tar. So I covered all that, even a couple of these blocks with the tar as well. And then I saw a bird in the sky. Oh, look at that! You can even see the plane up there. Look at that. That's cool. And I was like, I wonder what my camera can do. This is a hawk, I think. Yeah, pretty good shot of a hawk, pretty far away. Anyway, got a bird, falcon. Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, it's some sort of. Might be a red tail. Something like that. Anyway. Hawk, that's what he said. That's right. So, yes, House, it does smell pretty strong, yes. Oh, there's gasoline in it to keep it soft. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I got all that covered with tar. And so it was sealed up. So then I needed to get the pipe and then the gravel, and that'll be here in a little bit. So back to the job at hand, because I still had to get this dug out. So as you can see here, this took me about 4, 5, 6 days. I think I moved probably somewhere between 10 and 15 ton. But look how hard this was. I mean, this was, and it was just hours of this. I worked hours a day for 5 or 6 days. It was crazy. Over and over and over and over and over again. Just hacking and hacking and hacking. And then I would scrape it into this little tray that I had. Thankfully, I put a handle on the tray. That did help a lot. Scrape it in there. And then this is what I did. Squat down, grabbed it, picked it up. Each of these, it doesn't look like a lot of dirt, but this was well over, I'm going to guess, probably anywhere from 70 to 100 pounds. Yeah. It was IRL Minecraft. Yep. And then I picked it up and I dragged it all the way out here to my front. Basically, I just extended my front yard and then dumped it. I was basically a human bulldozer for a week. It was brutal. Some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life. It's crazy. That's what I did. And dragged it back inside every single day. Just boom. Back in, do it all over again. It was rough. It was rough. Decided to say hi to the camera. Keep all that from washing away. Well, hopefully in the springtime. By the spring, I mean, it's going to settle. Some of it's going to wash away, but eventually it'll settle down and kind of pack in, and then the grass eventually will grow over it. I could get real fancy, put some, straw down and grass seed and whatever else, but I mean, it's almost winter time. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Xavier. I appreciate that. Oh man, Rogue, I was sore for like days. I'm still sore from it. I'm not. I don't think I've completely recovered. It's been days. It was insane. It was really insane. So then, ladies and gents, I got me some gravel, and I started filling with gravel, and filling with gravel. We had 5.5 ton of gravel brought here, dumped right here, and I just started shoveling it in, loading buckets. Stepping up here, I'll show you what I did. We got the backside filled in. That wasn't the end of the world. It still took a lot of work to do this. My son did help me some with backfill, and he helped me a little bit with the gravel. I think there was supposed to be videos back here. One second. It might be skipping a video or two. See where we're at in the process. No, we're about there. No, because we're skipping the video part. Here we go. But yeah. Here's Pallet. This is what I did for another at least 2 or 3 days. Filling gravel, filling gravel, filling gravel, over and over and over. Ugh, so painful. Then I get up here, This is how I did it. Get over here. Either just shovel it in and then push it down and drag it along the ditch. Just like this. Boom, 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 boom. Or, let me see if I show. Yeah, I fill the bucket up. Then, step up here. Right? Walk across. It was like raining almost the whole week. It was wet. It was mucky. Ugh. It was nasty. Just over and over and over again. And then I went and finally when I got most of the gravel in, I got these pavers. So I'll try to explain what I did here. I think I have a shot of it that will kind of show you. And then I put some pavers up here. Let me see if I can find a good spot. This just is me putting pavers in. One second. Let me, before we go back over here. All right. No, we don't need to look at this yet. Let me show you from... I don't know if I can really describe this well. Let's try from here. Okay, so... Lift with your knees, pal. Oh, I was beyond... I was so far beyond that. Like, as in, I had lifted all week. You know, it was like... There was no... I was like, we gotta get it done, you know? So it's just lifting. I mean, I feel like I know my body pretty well, so I was careful not to just be stupid, but yeah, I certainly wasn't, you know, team lift. There was no such thing, right? Yeah, your stunt double a ton. That's right, Sky. Yeah, digging is really hard, especially clay. That's right. Yep. So here's what I did. This was my idea. Let me show you from here. So what I did is I had this really fine mesh fencing. So I put the fencing in. I put a little bit there, and I wrapped it in down in here, which you guys can't see super well. But anyway, you can see the fencing here. So I put fencing in. I poured gravel up to the bottom of the fence because I wanted to give a little barrier between the clay and the gravel, because this is called riverstone. It's smooth riverstone. So what will happen is it will just like push right into mud. Like the mud will, and it will just mix. But what it's good for, why we use this smooth riverstone, is because it doesn't pack in like limestone. Limestone packs like cement, and then what happens? You're going to get the push from the dirt with the frost, and it's just going to go ahead and push the wall in again. So you want to try to get stone here, not only to drain the water, which riverstone allows the water to run through nice because it's smooth, you know. So the water goes down through it, and there's a French drain under here, a pipe with a bunch of holes in it, you know, that it runs into, and then drains out below the garage. But so the water goes down through. Plus, it doesn't pack. So even if the ground over here swells a little bit, you know, it's going to give with it, and it's going to squish in, and it's going to help to protect this wall from that push of the pressure of the water freezing and the mud and the dirt freezing and expanding and pushing the wall in. So I wanted, though, to help to provide a little bit of a barrier between the dirt and the rock, so the rock, once again, didn't just get filled with dirt quite as easily. It probably will still happen, but it'll take a lot longer with a little bit of a barrier. Then what I did, once I got the dirt filled up, I didn't get a photo of this, I put in some landscaping paper, which is like a kind of I use like a natural paper, but it's supposed to prevent like weeds. The water and the sunshine is supposed to get through, but the weeds aren't supposed to be able to grow through it. So it's still permeable for water. So I laid that on top of it, so that once again, now it's just encased. There's a lot less chance of the dirt coming down from the runoff from up above, and the fence just kind of keeps a little bit of a barrier there, so that this pack of gravel can kind of move and provide as a buffer zone to the wall. And then on top of that, I put another piece of fence, and I kind of wrapped it up this way, and that's when then I put pavers on top, which is then like, I don't know where we're at here. Where are we at? We were here. And you saw me putting those pavers in. Any rate, so those pavers now, you can see the fence. I brought it up and then I wrapped it under I put 2 layers of pavers. So gravel, fence like this, gravel, paver, and then I wrapped the fence over and put a paver on top of that. So once again, the fence just sort of curls here and just once again, just trying to provide a little bit of a barrier between the dirt and the stone and everything, just to provide a nice, strong demarcation there. Just, it's gonna be less work in the future to try to dig it out. So that's what I did. So the pavers help to, provide a nice edge, and they look decent, and whatever else. But yes, I think it turned out pretty good. So at any rate, got the wall all done, got everything installed, and got everything cleaned off, like on the back side of the house. This was all filled in, obviously, like I said, and all the pavers were in, and all the dirt was in, and all of this was done, right? So we got all past this, and blah, blah, blah. There's the final picture of that. I think it turned out pretty well, and it looks pretty clean. I think it will really help the wall and protect the wall. So now back to the job at hand of getting this other little room prepped. So I took a picture of the wall because, once again, I still got a place for my junk. So I just kept bouncing back and forth between the 2 jobs. What's up, Annihilation? Welcome in. Yeah, if I don't get the chat, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to try to run through this and then stop my recording. So I'm trying to, I'll try to say hi. But if I keep my chat to the minimum, I don't mean to ignore anyone. So as you can see, the stone foundation, this foundation's probably, I don't know, 2-3 feet thick. Just huge, these huge stones. But as you can tell, when I dug the dirt out, you got a lot of pockets here and stuff. So you can see down at the bottom here, I did pour some cement. I poured like a berm. Probably wouldn't have had to, because this wall goes down probably several more feet. Well, maybe not several, but at least another couple feet, because my basement is lower than this, and there's still stone down below, and then my basement's been cemented. So I just poured a berm just to make sure the stones didn't kick out. And but then all of this needed some sort of a mortar in between the joints of each stone. So then that's what I had to do. See how that's just like clay and stuff? You could pick it out. There's a lot of gaps and holes, which is how stone foundations are. This was the old mortar that somebody had put right inside the door, which had already been dug out. So I was like, all right, well, we need to do that. So yes, here are the plans. This is what I did. So here was mortar. Look how satisfying this is, though. It was hard work. I mixed up, I don't know how many bags of mortar. And I started mortaring the joints. Every one of those joints. I dug them out, kind of picked them out with a sharp tool. Some of the dirt, some of the, I don't know if it was a mixture of clay and lime, I'm not sure, but some of it was really hard. So I didn't try to pick too much of that. I just kind of got the surface so that I could just pack the outside. And I figured if I could at least get the outside done, then, it's not going to come out of there. And that's the whole point. The dirt is fine. It just, you don't want it to come out and then the stones to shift or something. And the stones probably aren't going to shift by now. The foundation is 120 years old. Those stones aren't going to do much of anything unless you actually physically take them out. They're so interlocked and settled, I don't think it's going to move. But this is what I did. Lots of mortar being mixed. And then you can see here where I've already shot some of the mortar into the holes. So basically, this is where... I'll show you what I did here. I took this... well, I sprayed it down with some water. You can see me spraying it here. Just misting it lightly because it helps the mortar to stick a little bit better. And then I used this... well, this is not the better one because it got stuck in that video. But this video right here... So I would fill up this little, like, it's almost like a cake decorating thing, where you take the cake, the icing, and you put it in, you squeeze it out. It's basically the same thing, just made for cement or mortar or whatever. And you get it flowing good. And then basically what happens is you just you squish it in. Let me see if I can, yeah, here we go. You can see how it just, if you get the right consistency, you can just squish it right in those gaps and those holes. As I got into the project, I did learn a little bit better just to scoop a big bit on my trowel and slap it against the wall and just make it stick that way, and then form it a little bit better. But at this point, I wasn't feeling quite as confident, and so I was like, well, I gotta squish it in here with this thing. But man, my hands and arms, oh man, they ache so bad. This took me at least a couple days worth of work. But then I would smooth it out and try to, press it into those holes. Yeah, I mortared the crud out of this wall. But yeah, just a lot of this. Just, you put a big, dollop in there, and then you smooth it out. Just hours and hours of it. Oh, man, just a lot of work. That's what I'm going to say. Right, Sky? So, anyway, I worked on that, and then what I did do here is my door closes and opens right here, and I was going to put some plastic down. So, the idea is in this little room, I'm going to put, wood and metal and other materials, and I didn't want the moisture from the ground to come up and, like, rust the metal or rot the wood, which is exactly what would happen. So, I was going to put plastic down. So, I said, all right, let me get a few pavers here, and I'll just make a nice, because this right here was the footer. This section right here was the footer to the wall, and it was, cement right here, but then this section wasn't. So I was like, oh, well, let me make a space for some pavers. Then I laid plastic down, and I did pour another berm back here with cement. This is my, like, hack job of getting at least a place for the cement to stay, because basically back here I just felt like the wall was just a lot more janky at the corner. I know, Sammy's welcome in, good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I hope you have a good rest. Thank you for jumping in at least. I appreciate it. Welcome in, Noble. Yeah, I'm just going through my project, so that's why I was off for 2 weeks. So that's why I'm just focusing on this. Yes, have a good night, Sammy's. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. So I got that. All right, so there is the end job. If you look at it close, it's actually not too bad. I felt like I did a pretty good job of covering all the major gaps and really, making sure just none of the rocks, nothing was going to shift, nothing was going to move. And then with all the cement berm and everything, you'll see a couple pictures here in a minute. I got some plastic. I washed the plastic out. Actually, my brother brought me some nice big long pieces of plastic. And then I even took the leftover, I had a little bit of river stone left, and I washed it. This is me washing the river stone, because it was pretty muddy. It was actually very muddy. It'll have to do, right, Alice? Exactly. Oh, man. It was, look how dirty. I think I did this with yeah. Did I show the camera? Yeah, look how muddy the stone was. It's washed river stone, but it's still really mucky. They put it in a big tumbler, I'm assuming, but it was still super mucky. So I washed and washed it to try to get it at least decent. So, I mean, it's just one thing after the other. It was just a lot of work. You can still see a little grass. So this is what it started looking like. Put the plastic down, started pouring the stone in. And that way, then, I wouldn't have to worry about the stone being super dirty. So you can see, it started looking clean. And once again, this is just a storage room. But what I didn't want to happen, I'm going to put some tools and stuff in here. I didn't want to be able to walk in and out of this and it just be muddy. I just hate that. Especially putting in, like if I get some decent lumber eventually and I want to slide in here, I don't have to walk in and it's just, crapola. So, let me see where we're at here on the pictures. We got to be right here somewhere. Wash, wash, wash. Okay, and then this is where the, this is how it started turning out. And it wasn't too bad. Once I got in there, it wasn't bad at all. And this is me just, this is what I did. I had to like bring it in with a tub after I washed it, dump it, even it out. There wasn't a ton of this, thankfully. There wasn't too much left, so. And I just Evened it all out. Went to work. Then the moon came up, and that was really nice. So I took some pictures of the moon. I tried different shots. It was very pretty that one night. I tried different colorings of my camera, but it's about as good as I could get. All right. So, yeah. Where do you get the motivation? It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's almost a divine miracle, and it's actually not a joke. That's what I'm gonna chalk it up to, because goodness gracious, I mean, I get motivated for stuff, but this was insane. I just get started, and I have to keep going until it's done. Yeah, a lot of prep. That's right. That's right. So now I had the front. I had the little room done. Basically, this is how it looked for the most part. I obviously took this bit off, but this was pretty much done. And obviously the garage was done. So now the job was taking all the crap out of my garage. Now, mind you, I had everything done Saturday night. I was like, all right, Sunday I'm going to take a break. Monday I'm going to come out and hit this hard. I'll be all done by Tuesday. I might even get a little extra sleep, okay? Mind you, Sunday, my refrigerator breaks. We lose a little bit of food. Had to clean the whole thing out, dump everything. It was a mess. So Monday, instead of me being able to do this on Monday, I had to go and fix my refrigerator. So I had to take the refrigerator apart, learn. I had to go through YouTube, figure out what was wrong. I finally found what was wrong, and then I ordered the part. Yeah, exactly. So eventually what happened was I did find the part, as far as I could tell. I ordered it, and I think I came out. I might have done a little bit on the project, but I hardly had time to do anything because of just messing with the stupid refrigerator. So then this pretty much all happened on Tuesday. I came out Tuesday morning, right, yesterday morning, and just worked my tail off. I literally dragged every stitch of everything out of this garage. All the lumber I had in there. I just had so much crap, just random stuff, some, computer boxes, some of my glass I needed to, recycle that I hadn't got to yet. Obviously mowers. Like, this is all from my kitchen project, just a stack of lumber and just all this crap just thrown everywhere. It was just a mess. It's still a mess, but I just had to drag it all out. So here's my front lawn on Tuesday about like 11 o'clock. Just everything's just all over the place. I was like, how am I ever gonna get done with this? This is crazy. Has the stuff in his shed as well. Exactly. Right, exactly, Hal. So I don't want to climb over the heap, forever. So I was like, I gotta do something, right? So I finally, this is after all done, all that lumber fit in there. I stacked all these, all this fencing, plastic, metal bars. I put a couple boards up to put my ladders in here, put my drywall in here, shoved some drywall into these pallets, put some garden tools and blah, 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 blah. Yes, 5. It's right, 5 ladders. Yeah, it's insane. I know. I was given like 4 or 5 ladders. It's crazy. I don't want to throw them all away or anything stupid or sell them. I did sell. I'm going to sell one, but I at least put 3 or 4 of my longer ladders here, because I do want to be able to, if I need to, put up some level of we can put 2 ladders and a board in between them to provide yourself a little bit of height. If you need to do like a makeshift scaffolding kind of thing. Glue them together, that's right. Yeah, that's right. 4 is enough, you stack them. That's right. Stack them up. So I got all this crap in there. There it is. That's how I'm using it. Now, this is just a pretty nasty pile, but still, at least it's all stuff I can get to. I can walk in this room. I can actually get to it. Just climb out a window and rappel down. Right, there you go. Yeah, worth their weight in aluminum. That's right, House. That's right. And then I got my tools. Most of my tools. This isn't even all my tools. I got a little more space on the wall, but got a lot of my tools hanging up. I've been given tools. Oh man, half the stuff has been given to me. Part of the stuff is I bought in a kind of a big lot, so lots of hand tools. And let me tell you, I've been using them. So then here's the door all nice and shut. I got to work on the door. I'm probably going to cut the bottom off, put a new bottom on it. I don't know. I might just build a new door, but that's why I need a That's why I need a workshop. Here's the finished pile of dirt. And one of the ladders I'm throwing away because look at it. The thing's all bent up, rusted. It's aluminum, but I'm just going to ditch it. And then here is just, I wanted to take a few pictures of how I just generally, I mean, I got so many boxes of stuff that I got to go through, so don't judge me too hard. It's still a terrible mess. But I want to cement the floor. Nice pile of dirt. Yeah, it's my yard now. Yes. A little bit of grass seed on that dirt. It'll be good as new. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes. But just to give sort of an idea, so this is the bay of the garage that will be my workshop. The hard part to really describe, but here's a good idea. Like, so I'm going to probably put folding doors here, like some sort of like barn door or big like double doors. I'll probably get rid of this garage door. Unless I can open it from the outside yet still lock it, I might keep it. I'm not sure because it opens up so nicely. The problem is when it's opened, it interferes with any kind of ceiling you want to do. So I think I'm just going to probably do a double door. And then basically here is like workbench, you know, all along this corner. I'm going to put a wood stove in here that will then vent out this wall. Of course, I'll do everything to code, obviously. But I'll probably install a wood stove here. And then, you know, I got this center section has like my cutoff saw, my vise, and the table saw. I'll probably keep some kind of table saw or something in the middle. And I got some just cutoffs and stuff that I can use for, you know, whatever. But I have some project wood here because I got to work on the wall. So once again, there's a lot of crap in the way, but this is the general layout of my workshop eventually. Small yard sale. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is going to just get organized and a lot of this crap is going to go away. And then this wood will be wood that I'll either put in the other building or I'll end up using it to just burn. So, hey, what's up, 3D? Welcome in. I'm going through all my details. I'll be putting this on YouTube as well, so you'll be able to catch the video eventually, guys, if anybody has missed anything. But yeah, this is just generally, I just kind of took pictures to kind of show what this project going to end up looking like, because I'm going to go through and make like a proper workshop out of this space. It's going to be glorious, but it's going to take some time, because I'm really going to need to cement the floor. And then here's the other bay. This is a lot of cardboard I still got to get rid of. I just didn't have the chance to recycle it. And I was keeping some of my computer boxes for the moment, so... couple, it's my wife's bike and my bike, at least my nice town bike. But yeah, here's the wall. Do you see the crack? This is what was happening. This wall was coming in towards me. And you can see the seam right here. Bump, 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 bump. All that was pushing in. See that crack? That's what was happening. Thank you, House. Appreciate it. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do is you saw some logs here and some pile of lumber. I'm basically going to rig up a jack. Take my car jack and rig up a way to push the wall back, at least a little bit. I'm probably going to Tapcon, which means screws that go into cement. I'm going to Tapcon a board along here, like a long, wide board, a good strong board. And I'm gonna then like basically push against that board like in a wide area, push the wall back a little bit, just take a little bit of the curve out, and then I'm going to pour cement probably in this column right here, either this one or this one. I'm not sure. If I need to strengthen with some steel bands, eventually I can. But yeah, sounds good, House. No worries. But yeah, I'm gonna pour cement right down one or two of these columns here. So I am also gonna put some steel rebar, but my brother gave me a great idea. If you look at this space that I have up here, I have enough space to put maybe a 12-15 inch piece of rebar in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit, look down in there, see how much I have, and then drop a piece of rebar down in there, stick it in, and then pour it up to the top of that rebar, and then drop another one in. And just keep dropping a piece. It'll sink into the cement at least a little ways, and then fill the cement past the rebar, and then drop another. So it'll be sort of like piece of rebar, and it'll strengthen it. So not only did I get stronger cement. I got some reinforced cement, but also I am going to use small pieces of rebar. So that's how I'm going to try to strengthen it. So that's what it's going to look like. That's where we're at. So here's the deal. This is what's going to happen. Now, I also have to cement this whole floor at some point. So I will be like clearing probably this one bay. I'll put the boards down for a block of cement and, you know, like kind of prep myself, and then hopefully either get, you know, find some way to get, either we'll have just a contractor come in and do the whole thing at once, or I'll do it small sections at a time. Like I'd like to work with a local contractors that do cement, and then when they have extra left over, if you're ready to go and they can just pull up to your house and put the elevator inside and just drop, you know, a 3x3, 5x5, 6x6 block of cement, you know, they got a little left over. That is a great way to get either free or close to free cement, because that's what happens. They have a bunch extra and they don't have no place to put it. So I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna call around, and if I can get a section kind of marked out, you know, a few yards worth marked out, you know, and put the boards up and the forms are ready to go, and hopefully, you know, I might be able to do that. If not, if I don't want to go that route and I think I'm just gonna pour it all at once, then I'll probably just park my car in here, work on my car slowly, and not worry too much about the moisture this winter until I get cemented, and I don't worry about it. But yes, a few different size squares, exactly. So I'll just make forms. I could easily make forms of different sizes, and then just pour a little bit at a time, and then use what's called those expansion joints, and I could just pour one section at a time, which is, they say, is technically the better way to do it. I can just level it off real nice and make sure it's, you know, got enough space. But yeah, and that way I can kind of slowly but surely get it all done. Why 2 weed whackers? One's broke. I was given the other one. No, there's 2 of them, but this one's broke, and I don't want to get rid of it because I don't think it's anything too hard to work on. It's technically even in better shape than this other one, and I bought it new as one of the first power tools I ever bought. So I really want to wait till I get my workshop up and running, and then I'd like to fix it. I'd like to rebuild this motor because I want to eventually rebuild, well, engine swap this car. This is my Oldsmobile that I want to work on. So that's what I was going to show you guys. This is really why I cleaned this garage out. I mean, obviously I wanted the workshop anyways, but what was really motivating me was my 84 Oldsmobile. So we'll see how it goes. A bench along that wall that needs support might be a good idea too. Yes, absolutely 3D. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is actually putting a beam in. I'll just mention this quickly. I'm thinking about putting a big 6x6 beam somewhere close to this beam, and then running a very strong beam off the top here, that if I ever wanted to pull this engine, I should be able to ratchet it off that beam. I'll make sure that I tie the beam into this wall really well, and make, like I said, like a 6x6 beam on like pavers. It'll be really strong, and I'll make sure it's really strong. So then I can, yeah, it's kind of like having an I-beam in your ceiling to lift things, you know, especially with a car. If I want to pull the body off a little bit or whatever, I'd love to get to a point where I could actually jack the body off of the frame and then do the frame prep work, you know, paint, you know, take care of rust. I'm not sure. The space is the problem. I don't even know if I have enough room, but even I can get a few inches and just kind of work around in there, I'd be willing to try. So we'll see. But yeah, there's not a lot of space in the ceiling. But if you had a beam to lift things, it would really help. So, and I could put another, you know, I could put another section of 6x6s somewhere else too. You know, I could put a couple different ones that would help to support. So we'll see. But yeah. But yeah, this block here, this whole area here is going to be for the car. And the car barely fits there, but it would allow me to actually work on the car. You know, a lot of people have done a lot of car work even in their own driveways. So I figure if I have a garage, I should be able to survive. Eventually, I might put a wall with like big barn doors in between these two areas, and I might. Even my brother suggested too is that you could potentially move this beam out of the way, and I might do that. Like not move it completely, but tie in a stronger beam. Either move it back or move it over in some way to give yourself more space, because this beam is kind of in the way to some degree, because it's right where the car door opens. That's why the previous owner put carpet around the beam so it didn't like dent his car door. So if I could just transfer the beam over or move it one way or the other, it would really help to give me more space to get into working on the vehicle if I got it jacked up or wherever. Obviously, I can pull it in, pull it out, those kinds of things. But what's that, Lord Cold? RSJ, what's that? I'm not sure what that is. But here's the reason that I really got motivated is this car. See my rough spots? Oh, I-beam. Yes, exactly. Yeah. My brother suggested, too, that they make other types of, like, composite beams as well. So, yeah. It's something that would be really super strong. He said you could probably make something by tying several beams together, but it would be cool to have a steel beam. That like a real steel I-beam, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Bondo time, exactly, House. But yeah, here's my rust. It's starting to creep up all over the car. Here's a couple dents my wife put in the car. Get the harder? Yeah, exactly. Just change the load bearing to the walls instead of having the pole in the middle. And I could do that, Lurkle, 100%. I could do that. Yep. It's patina. Well, the problem is it doesn't look very good. Now, this isn't patina. This is where my wife ran into the garage a couple occasions, so I have a couple dents, but that's okay. Patina cells, yeah. Well, so here's my plan. My plan is to take this car and probably do like a flat black, something I can handle, either a satin or flat black paint job, which is actually kind of hard. But if you do it in that kind of like rat rod sort of way, if you do it right, I'll probably be okay. It's not supposed to be super like refined. It's supposed to be a little bit more, rough. So, kind of car, 1984 Oldsmobile Delta 88. You can see the front of it here. I meant to have a good picture of it sitting around somewhere. I know I have it somewhere, but yep, 1984 Delta 88 4-door. But I am going to do an engine swap on it and have some fun with it. Well, there's the project, guys. That's what I did for 2 weeks, getting all this done, and we are ready to rock and roll. So yeah, just as a quick recap, got this room all dug out, and all my excess supplies put in there, and then I got my garage cleaned out. Even though it doesn't look like it, it was way worse than this, and I got it organized into what is now the spaces that I want: a workshop area and a place for my car. So moving forward, eventually I'd like to get internet in the garage, have my workshop set up on this side. This is before it was cleaned out. Workshop on one side, car on the other side, so that I can stream from here, maybe stream different projects I want to do. For instance, like tearing down this engine. That'd be really cool, is be able to go in there, fire up the wood stove, have some coffee on the wood stove. I mean, how cool of a Pallet Box stream would that be? Wood stove and all. I mean, just the ambiance of, wintertime, sitting there in the middle of January. You got your wood stove fired up. You got your coffee. Maybe you got some snacks there. And you're just chilling with your fam, your stream fam, working on who knows what. I'd love it. So yeah, there you go. There you go, guys. That's what we're doing.